All right, welcome back on this Saturday morning. So the kids have gone to summer camp. You've given them the chores, and they're starting to get a little antsy. Maybe you are too, but hang in there. It is still July. Ben Shifrin, head of the Jemicy School, is here with ways you can keep your kids busy even during the summer months. How are things going at the Jemicy School first?
They're going real well. They're going real well. We continue to be on the cutting edge of research. We continue to get accolades for what we do in teaching kids to read and really getting students that have language-based learning differences up to par and competing in the academic world.
Okay, now when it comes to summer activities for the kids, you want to combine a little bit of recreation,
Correct.
a little bit of activity,
Great.
and education.
Absolutely.
But the parents have got to be willing to be involved with this.
Parents need to be involved. You know, we've spoken many times about summer learning loss. There are fun things to do in the city of Baltimore that can really keep your child on the cutting edge of what's going on, keeping their mind sharp and ready to transition back to school in the fall. And these are really, you know, Baltimore is filled with wonderful activities that provide that kind of opportunity. And it's a great opportunity for you as a parent to interact with your child and experience the same things your child is experiencing.
And what about the willingness on the child's part to get out and do this? Because sometimes the kids may need a little bit of a push, but you want them to feel like they're getting something from it and not being forced.
Absolutely, and the activities we're going to describe really present some exciting things for students to do. Number one, port discovery. Do you know that for students ages 10 to 12, we are listed as having one of the top 5 children's museums right here in Port Discovery? It's a great place for children to go into, to have, you know, they have multi-sensory experiences, they play with things, and it's really educational at the same time and a lot of fun, and it's air conditioned. So if it's hot outside, it's a great place to take your kids to keep cool.
And parents may play too.
Absolutely, parents can play too. So it becomes a fun activity for both parents and child. Great place to go, Port Discovery. Don't forget it.
Okay, now we got the Science Center.
You know, Maryland Science Center is incredible. They have dinosaurs. You know, kids love dinosaurs. They want to know about it. And they do anatomy. And one of the great things they have is they have a model of a heart that beats, and students can walk through it and climb through it. It's a wonderful experience for students. Gets them active. It's not classroom learning. They're actually participating in what's going on at in the museum.
Next.
One of my greatest places that I think is the Irvine Nature Center's exhibit that they have going on about the Piedmont habitats, okay? Children can experience that, walk through that, and experience some nature, and that's really great. Going on with nature, my favorite, because I believe our kids are nature deprived, is the Clay Barn Arboretum. There's over 200 acres, but more importantly, there's 3 miles of trails that, you know, kids can go through and experience with their with their parent being in nature, which is really critical because we talk a lot about nature, you know, students not being nature deprived.
Going back to what you just said, children being nature deprived, from where does that originate? Is that something that starts in the home, parents not exposing their kids to some of these outdoor activities?
Oh.
Or is it an educational process that might be deficient on the school level?
Well, I know at Jemicy we are one of 5 schools in the country that allow our students during research to play in the woods. And what research is showing that students today, you know, remember the days you went as a kid to go catch tadpoles by yourself in the stream?
Chase frogs, buddy.
Chase frogs, you got it. Kids today don't do that. They're too busy with their computer games. And there's really studies starting to come out that say our kids in America are really nature deprived. Think of the time, Stephen, you spent in nature just to think about the world and make some decisions about life. There's something very relaxing and very important about students being in nature. And I will state that schools are faulty for not including nature in part of their curriculum.
Also, history plays a big role in this, and the Fort McHenry is also big, and we're historically deprived. And there's no better place than in Maryland because so much of our country's history is based here.
One of the greatest things you can do if you're going to go out to Fort McHenry is take the water taxi across. See the historical monument, and then there's a beautiful grassy area. Have a picnic lunch or fly kites with your child. This again becomes a positive physical and learning activity. You know, one of the other nice things when you talk about history is the Mount Vernon, you know, historical trail that we have. You know, there are over, I believe, 24 places you can stop and learn about the history of Mount Vernon in this cultural area with great restaurants and venues. But more importantly, you're going to learn about the architecture of Baltimore, which is great, and you're getting physical activity and learning at the same time.
Also, in terms of those trails, there are a lot of trails in and around the city of Baltimore that people aren't aware. Miles and miles.
Yes.
You're getting the history aspect and you're getting the nature exposure you were talking about.
And it's free. And it's free. It doesn't cost you anything.
Free.
It's free. It's a great thing. One of the other free things that I think is beautiful is we have a library here, the Enna Pratt Library, that many students haven't even been into. It has almost any reading book for anyone, and even if you don't want to read, it's a great building just to go look at historically and see. One of my favorite, and I'm on the board there, is the American Visionary Arts Museum. Do you know that is such a unique museum to the Baltimore area? And what it's really about is untrained artists creating things from every kind of media that they can.
Right.
And I promise you, if you don't use the word museum to your child and they go there, they will spend an hour and a half and love everything they're seeing, the creativity of what people who were untrained developed, which I think is really great.
Going to have to wrap you up right there. Many of the other sites, go to historic Baltimore sites, Google some of the history.
Don't forget the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad Museum.
Perfect.
And lastly, there's a Baltimore Clay Works. It's a nonprofit. Your child can go there, make all kinds of masks and things from clay. But more importantly, just get your child's mind working in the summer. Don't let them sit there playing video games.
Ben, thank you so much for the
time. It's always
time.
great to be here.